welcome to Friday Night Live, the 6th-year birthday celebration. We only got 10 seconds left in this music, so I'll just let it fade out. But I want to welcome you all to Friday Night Live. Thanks for tuning in this last Friday of July. Oh, yeah. Let me just make sure I got that turned down, which I do. All right, let's see here. Who do we all have in here joining us tonight? Don Slate, just saw you fly by. Tim and Old Saws, good evening. WD30, celebrating. Not only are we celebrating 6 years for the channel, but WD30 is celebrating 11 months as a hobbyist membership right there. So, good to see you all tuning in. Scott and Susan, what's in the cup tonight? Didn't change it up. Same old, same old. I don't really change things up too much. So it's the same old Morgan with a little wild cherry and cream Pepsi. All right, let me see here. Now Craig's Courage to Colds. Saw your message earlier in the chat. It's been extremely warm here, and so the little fire going over there, I'm just kind of keeping that going. But if you can see over here, we have got one heck of a flame shooting out of the tabletop fire pit. And that is because, of course, it is burning Back 40 mini firewood, obviously. Larry, Terrell, good evening. Richard, who else is all in here? Miller, Stumps, and Firewood. How are you doing? Foothills Firewood. Lyle. Cheers, everyone. Oh, I don't even think I did the first initial raising of the cup. So cheers, everyone. Happy Friday. And I don't know if we have... Ooh, look at this. Down East Tree and Firewood family. 110 heat index. Yeah, it has been a crazy week for heat. And here in west central Wisconsin, and I think a good part of southern Wisconsin maybe, also got the rain. And we had, I think we got between 3 and 4 inches of rain here. And then south of us, there was a few spots that got 5 to 6 inches. So it was crazy. And that was on Wednesday when it was supposed to be really hot. And now we're getting the heat this weekend. So it is, it's the weather. It's hot. And I thought that this tabletop fire pit was far enough away from me, but now I'm starting to feel the heat off that thing. Whew! But it's burning good. I have the Changemore flame intensifier cap on there. So we got that going on. If you're wondering why the flame is kind of focused and burning hot there in the center, that is one of the reasons why. Cheers to you down there in Wabasha. I think you guys got quite a bit of rain on Wednesday. Frickin' Jeep, is Frickin' Jeep in here? I think I saw him. I have a question for him and all of you, obviously all of you. But I think Frickin' Jeep might be able to, well, I don't know, because I have something. Boss Man found something buried over on the dirt road the other day, and I have no idea what it is. So I'm going to show you guys later on here, and we'll see if anyone can help identify what the heck this thing is. I have no idea. Oh, so, hey, Kent, 44 in Colorado. Yeah, it's cooling down. Send that cold weather this way. Amanda just got back from Idaho last night, and she had a couple nights where she was up in the Sawtooth Mountains backpacking, and she had a couple nights where it was in the 30s. And I was like, man, bring that here. because I do not like this heat. Uncle Denden, just saw your video that put the wood back in its whole log. Oh, I think that might be an older one, but I think I know what you're talking about. A little reverse action. Yeah, so I thought for the 6-year birthday of the channel celebration tonight. I mean, we do this every week, but I was just gonna open it up for a little more Q&A. So if you have any questions of anything going back through the last 6 years, fire away. And it helps to put a Q in front of it, just like Uncle Den did. Shotlift Family Firewood, good evening. Don Slate, yes, it's been a crazy month. Ozzy, and yesterday the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, yesterday passed away. That was one of my my uncle, when I was younger, I don't remember how old I was, but I went up to, we would always go visit my aunt and uncle. And the one night we were there, I think it was a Sunday, we stopped in, and my uncle was like, "Hey, you got to see this guy. You got to watch this all-star wrestling. This guy named the Hulk. You got to check him out." So we sat and we waited for it to come on, and we watched. And that was my first time ever seeing professional wrestling. Was with my uncle. And back then, the Hulkster was wearing the white tights, but ever since then, that kind of got me hooked on professional wrestling. So in a way, Hulk Hogan was kind of my first introduction to the wild and crazy world of professional wrestling. But yeah, that was the one thing that was pretty crazy is we went up to my aunt and uncle, we stopped in, and then somehow we got talking, and my uncle took me in the living room, and we were sitting in there, and he turned on this all-star wrestling, it was called at that time, back in the 80s. way back. William Klein's Lost 40 Lodge, an update on the greenhouse. The greenhouse is going good. If you saw on Facebook this afternoon, the greenhouse is doing so fine that it has now become a home for the deer. I've actually, the three times now, I've gone back there and there's been deer inside the greenhouse. And there's not that much space in there. But this evening, there was one, and she was just standing in there. I mean, obviously, she was in awe looking at all of the mini firewood that was laid out drying. But yeah, the deer have moved into the greenhouse. But as far as an update, the shelter logic with the clear plastic on, I've kept the ends open, and it still is drying the mini firewood fantastically. And then the other one is doing a great job as well. So even with the ends open, just to allow a little air flow through there, they've been working great. I have discovered a couple, there's 2, I think, small little leaks from the hailstorm. So I'm going to have to find some of that greenhouse plastic tape, patch those up. But yeah, they've been doing good. Working out great. Rick's Outdoors. Here's a good question. What made you start doing the Friday Night Live, and how many tune in the first night? So, the very first Friday Night Live that I did was to celebrate hitting the 1,000 subscriber milestone. And I think that evening there was a total of around between 35 and 40 for the very first Friday Night Live. It was the middle of November, and then the next week, I think at the time, the YouTube stipulations where you couldn't do live streams until you had reached that milestone. They changed it now to, I think, where you have 500 subs, you can do live streams. But I think at that time it was once you hit 1,000, you were monetized, and then you could do live streams. So that's one of the reasons why then I went live. And but yeah, that was, and then so from there it just kind of I used it as a way for people who watch the videos to come on and interact like this and ask questions and kind of like get that, live interaction and feedback and answering a question. Because, it's one thing to like ask a question and a comment, but sometimes if I don't get to the comment or I'm not able to answer it, I always felt like I wanted to have a way to interact and, just have a place for people to come together and hang out like we do. Give everybody a hard time. Like this guy, Cliff, Circle BMN. Go bigger or keep wood business manageable. Is that... Oh, my goodness. Speaking of going bigger, we let this flame die down. Hang on a second. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, Bob Nelson came over one time and we ran these small little chunks. He needed to test the kindlet for someone to see how it would produce small little barbecue chunks. So I have a couple bags of these things, and I need to get rid of them because they're just taking up space. So I have been burning them, but now just let this thing go out. Hopefully it kicks back in. So if you're asking me what I'm planning on doing, or if you're asking me to give advice on how big or what to do, so let me get this super chat and then I will answer that. But yeah, I don't know if you're asking if what my plans are or what my advice would be. So maybe clarify that, and while I pull up this, while I bring out the ladies. The ladies are out. All right, where is that super chat now? I gotta find it. Kent Hoffman, fill the cup. It looks lonely. Thank you very much. Cheers. Ooh, and that is tasting mighty fine. All right, thank you, Kent. Coin is in the cup. So let me just see here. Hey, there's Matt, Lily's Farm and Firewood. Yes, indeed. The deer are definitely they've got the cool spot to hang out, even though like now they're in the greenhouse. All right, so my plan is actually going to probably be, well, so if there's like, how should I, like a bar graph. So before it was like 50-50 split between roadside stand, bundle wood, and boiler wood. But now that I've inserted another bar on the graph for mini wood, I'm actually going to be, I think, lowering the bar for the roadside stand, maintaining the same level for boiler wood, but then the mini firewood is going to like take more attention than the roadside stand from my plans, because it's been going good, and I haven't really, I guess it's going as good as I want it to go right now, because I just don't want to get overwhelmed. Which I know everyone loves to think of, like, scaling up, but I like to walk before I run, as the old saying goes. Um, Here, I'm going to just ground back to this question quick. I don't know if I gave away the Van Dusen on the first one or not. I think I did the unboxing, maybe, on the first or second live stream. But I don't know if I got to think about it. I don't know. That's a good question. That's way back in the archives. Mr. Scheib. Good evening, Scheib. And Log Cabin Firewood, Captain Jack. There, we got the flame going. See them? That's the nice thing about these tabletop fire pits is like they can die down, and then you can just like bring it right back to life and get it burning. Woo. Get that jet engine roaring. Probably doesn't look too impressive when it's still light out, but once it starts getting a little dark, it'll look better. Outside in the 515, good evening. All right. Say a prayer for Jack. He forgot his sunscreen at the beach. Uh-oh. Well, that's not. I'm just going to quick look if... I think there was one question back here. Larry he was wondering how many on the first live stream are still watching. I don't know. That would be another good, a little something I should do. I should go back and watch the live chat replay. I'm sure there's some. I'm sure there's a few. All right. Sandy O. Good evening. Jared, let's get a boiler update. There's not much to update. It's just sitting. I don't know if I'd want to be trying to run it when it's been this hot. Yeah, it's hot. But that's about it for now. I did fill in the hole that I dug out, so now I do have a nice. I actually made it a little bit higher so water wouldn't run in there. So I patched that all up. But that's about it. Frickin' Jeep needs a flame like that under his behind to get me going. Well, it would get you going. Shotlift Family Firewood, have a great weekend, everyone. Got to get splitting done before the rain moves in. Is there more rain moving in? Well, yeah, beat the heat and the rain. All right, hang on. I just got a. Speaking of. All right. So for those wondering, as you're probably seeing in the chat, Captain Jack and his sunburn, he just sent this to me, and he said I could share it. So is that all the way up, all over? Holy moly's. Yeah, that looks like you're going to need a little, some of that cooling lotion. Be willing. The firewood supply for the sauna is great. I've been picking up a lot of scraps, and I've got a bunch of the like odds and end offcuts still from the pallet cutoffs that I got, and we haven't been using the sauna very much in the heat. Last week, what was it? Last Wednesday, I think it was kind of cool. Last week we used it one night. I don't remember which night, but haven't been using it too much with the heat. But I've got a good supply built up. Saw Surgeon. Good evening. Yes, he was. I think you were around definitely for some of the early ones. I don't know if I'm waiting to see if Woodhound Senior pops in here. They might not be because, well, hang on. Let's bring out the ladies one more time. Rick's Outdoors. Cheers to 6 more years. Holy moly, I don't know about that. Take it one day at a time, but thank you very much. Cheers. Six more. We'll see. Mike Carter, how are you doing? Watching over there on Facebook. What did you pass out in the sun on the beach, Jack? Yeah, that's he is definitely cooked. Shibe, the other I didn't want to put the new fire mini or the tabletop fire pit up here because that thing does kick out a lot of heat. So I knew if I want to be able to refill this just by reaching over like that, if I would have that thing over here, I would be getting cooked like Jack. So I'm waiting to bring that one back out once it cools off a little bit. Because that thing does burn hot. Tony Woods. Looking back, doing YouTube, did you ever imagine how much knowledge you have from making firewood splits to mini splits? Well, yeah, 6 years ago, I would have never thought that. Like, I always split my wood small for the roadside stand and for bundled and everything. But I never would have imagined it would get to be as small as it is now. But I will say, though, I do like, it is a lot easier handling around the small splits over the bigger ones coming off the Kinlet. But yeah, I don't even know if 6 years ago there was such a thing as a tabletop fire pit. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know when they really. I wonder when Solo came out with their first Mesa tabletop fire pit. I'm thinking it probably was only 4 to 5 years ago, maybe 3 to 4. I don't know. And we got to bring the ladies back out for this. Marlon. Hi, Dan Woodhounds. Cheers, friends. Cheers to you, Marlon. Good seeing you here tonight. Thank you very much. Woo. All right, let's see. Mark. No, they are not. They are not. I don't think there's anywhere stopping the sale. Well, the only impact to sales is going to be that I think they're going to end the tax credit, which will impact the sale of them. But I don't think they're not looking to like ban boilers. Your small wood can go 6 more years. We'll see. We shall see. WD-30 what? was in a dress shirt and a vest. Oh yes, I remember the days when I was invested in the live stream. New Year's Eve. Yeah, it's funny. There's only been, I think there's been one Christmas Eve, maybe two, no, one, and a New Year's Eve, and then now we had a 4th of July. Was the cutting the rounds with your handsaw your funniest? I will say, I don't know if that was one of my funniest, but that was definitely the one of the unexpected thing, or something that I thought wasn't going to take as long and as much effort as it did. Like, I thought I was going to saw through that soft maple with that thing, like, no problem. I thought I was just going to fly right through it. And it started out good, and it felt like I got halfway through instantly. And then the second half, oh my gosh. Whew, I was gassed out way sooner than I thought I would. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is like that whole handsaw, the bi-directional handsaw. I mean, that spun into the bi-directional glass and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that was definitely one of my unexpected videos that I didn't think it was going to take me as long and be as difficult as it was. It was definitely shocking. And that the other thing is, like, so I'm filming it and I'm like, oh my God, this is taking way longer than I thought it was going to take. So then I had to, like, do a time lapse because, yeah, like I said, I thought I would be done with that thing in like 4 or 5 minutes. Neighbor Doug, how are you doing? Just got here. Sorry if I already asked. Did you ever meet Hulk Hogan? I did not. I've never had the opportunity to meet the Hulkster. But yeah, he was one of, just a quick recap, he was my uncle when I was young. My uncle introduced me to All-Star Wrestling at the time, and the guy that he told me I needed to see was this guy called Hulk, and it was Hulk Hogan. And so we watched All-Star Wrestling that night, and Hulk Hogan was on, and then that kind of, like, it got me hooked. So he was kind of one of the first, he was like the first known wrestler that I ever saw and kind of influenced me. Who remembers the 1K by 4th of July for Shibe? Oh, I think Shibe has had some very monumental both appearances live in person on Friday Night Live and dialing in. He's had some good ones, some good moments. Oh, I might have just choked that flame out. If you had to name your small wood, would you call it Just In? Just In, or yeah, halfway in firewood. I'm taking a drink because I just saw the super chat come on here. We better bring the ladies out for Arnie. Arnie, best way to get rid of mini firewood is burn it. That is right. Thank you very much. Cheers, Arnie. And just like that, at the bottom of the hour, it's time for a refill. Hang on. Oh, I gotta stoke that fire over there too. I had to see how much of my ice balls were left, and I needed to add another. Uh, all right. I don't know if I missed any questions. I hope not. Log Cabin had one here. You need to make a channel dedicated to your wrestling. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I can make a whole channel. Ooh, that flame is ripping. But I have thought about mixing in a little bit of some stuff, because the interesting thing that I have discovered is that a lot of the things I learned in the world of pro wrestling actually transcend into being a content creator. It's pretty crazy. It's just the tip. Oh boy. Oh, yes. Thank you, Colleen, for the reminder. Thank you. I was planning on doing this at the bottom of the hour anyway, but I would have probably forgot. So, Little Boss Man found this thing over in the dirt, and I don't know which way is up, which way is down. I have no idea what the heck this thing is. So, if you have any idea, here it is. There is the front of it. Let me just hold it. It's got a hole in that one part, as you can see, and then the back side. So I'm guessing this is like half of it. I'm guessing there's like another half that goes with this. But that is it. Any ideas what that is, what it came off of? If I can get it to focus. There you go. Antique trivia time. It does almost look like a meat grinder, but it'd be awful tiny. Like I have no idea. Spicer Designs, how are you doing? Does your insurance company know how many fires? No. And I've already lost my discount because I had a major hail damage claim. And so I've been informed that I will now have a added 2% charge to my premium because I made a claim for hail damage. So, but yeah, they don't know about these flames. Plus, I'm not near the house. Part of a toy gun. Hey, Jason, Yadkin Valley Outdoors, the man who's been getting loads and loads of free totes. A Canuter valve? That's what I was thinking. Just the blinker fluid pump. That could be. Yeah, I have no idea. It does, yeah. It does kind of look like a pipe, but it's so little. Like, and like that side has a hole in it. So, like I said, I'm guessing there was another half identical to this that kind of fit together, and I don't know. I have no idea. The only thing I know is that tomorrow morning you will be able to bid for this on eBay with the starting bid at $150. Or you can wait, and in 2 weeks on the 300th Friday Night live stream, this will be up for a giveaway. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, jeepers. I didn't even no, see, this is what happens. I just sometimes don't even freaking realize what the hell I've got to use my. I just need to use technology. Ah, according to Google, this is a vintage miniature meat grinder, likely a child's toy or a salesman's sample. Yes, Firewood Guy 118. That's exactly what I just did. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's apparently a sales sample of a meat grinder. Look at that. That looks exactly like it. Right there. Ha! Look at that. That's some pretty small meat you're grinding with that thing. If it is an actual. Oh, look at there is one on eBay for $20. A miniature meat grinder sales sample. There we go. We did it. We solved the mystery. If only I had the other half. And I guess it's only fitting that having the mini firewood that Boss Man would find a miniature meat grinder part in the dirt. A mini meat grinder for the mini wood. Very fitting. Yeah, so it was a sales sample. You know, back in the day when they'd take around the little sample things. Who would have thunk? Exactly. Yeah, it does look now that it did look like I was holding it like this when I was trying to figure it out, but if you do hold it like that, it does look like a little meat grinder that you would clamp on to the edge of the counter, feed your meat in. Back here there'd be a handle to turn. It could be used to make mini burgers. Yes, indeed. Oh, oh. All right, let me see if I missed any questions. Again, if you have any questions, we're going back for the just doing a little Q&A tonight. I don't think I did. I think we're all good. I think we're all good. God, there was something else I was. Now I don't remember. Oh boy, we have glowing firewood 50. Or no, who did that? Yeah, glowing firewood 50 is gifting out memberships. Start throwing in the emojis. Throw them in there. Let's see them. I don't even remember what the the keystrokes are for them. I guess is that what you call it? Yeah, keystrokes. But anyway, so I was going to. I don't know if I haven't seen Wooddown Senior in here, but today was my mom's birthday, and I was going to wish her a happy birthday. But they must be partying. She must be out celebrating. I know they were at I think an auction or some farmers market this afternoon. So maybe they are still celebrating. Look at WD-30. Miller stumps and firewood, throwing them in there. I don't know which one. Like I said, I don't know how. I don't know which keystrokes those are, but yeah. So Wooddown Senior's not here. I guess they celebrating the birthday. I'm gonna just scroll back to check. As I think there was oh, maybe not. Thought there was a question that I didn't answer, and I wanted to get back to it, but we're all good. I don't want to end up. No, because it is not code. Farmers market was I think actually I think it was an auction. But they were there with my brother. Frickin' Jeep, got something I need a box and send you to start another venture. Uh-oh. Oh boy. I don't even want to begin to speculate what that might be. If it's something you can't send, just in a few months we'll be down at Bunyan. Are you going to be at Bunyan this year? I think you said you weren't going to have your booth, but are you still going to go to Bunyan? That is, what is that? Next week is the first week of August, and then September. 2 months. 2 months away. 2 months away from Bunyan. What's the next one's Boonville, I believe. I think I saw somebody was asking if I was going to be in Boonville, and I will not be there this year. I'm debating whether or not next year I want to go back to Boonville. WD-30, how big a box may I need to get this new tool down to you? You may need a helping hand to unbox it. What? That's really got me worried. A new tool? August 15th through the 17th. So let's see, that will be 2 weeks. Or no, next week is next week the first? I don't even know. Middle of August. But yeah, I am not gonna make it to Boone. So we got next week's the first, second, 3 weeks away. 3 weeks away. Ryan, the best part of Bunyan, if you've never been there, would be seeing just the equipment, seeing everything. I mean, it goes on. If you're into forestry, timber, firewood, I mean, there's log splitters, there's chippers, there's lifts, there's processors, there's all kinds of stuff. And then the added bonus on top of all that is getting to meet everyone that's there. And a lot of the people that are like in the chat here will be there. A lot of the other YouTube channels will be there. So you get to meet the people and you get to see all of the machines and watch them run. And they got some good food. There's so it's like everything. So it's not just firewood. It's like I said, logging, timber industry, the firewood industry. You got the sights, the sounds, and the smells of everything. Wood, firewood. But then again, I mean, like I said, I've been there. I don't know how many years now. So like once you're there a few times, you kind of get, you've seen the same machines every year. There's maybe a few new ones, but then it kind of becomes more of like just like a reunion, like a get together, seeing everybody that you met last year, and the Bunyan Burger. That's right, the Bunyan Burger. My wrestling name was the same as my nickname, Shifty. And my hometown, my stage hometown, was Detroit, Michigan. And we were so like everyone when I was getting ready to have a match, going through training camp, people were coming up with their names, and everyone kind of had like these different adjectives, and then like scrap iron or iron Mike, this or this and that, or Greg the Bulls, whatever. But I was like, well, I didn't want to do something that was the same as everyone else was doing. Like everyone was coming up with their first name, something in the middle, and their last name. And so I'm like, I'm just going to use my nickname. And the guy training, he's like, what's your nickname? And I said, Shifty. And he said, what the hell does that mean? He goes, well, I tell you what, I don't know what it means, but I kind of like it. Let's use it. So I used it and I just stuck with it. So that was the name. And then because they're kind of associated with like driving your car or like shifting gears, they gave me the hometown of Detroit, Michigan. Oh, there, Woodhound Senior is here. We were just going through the happy birthdays to Grandma Woodhound. So happy birthday once again. What was this that WD-30 was saying? Leave around 2, get a good nap in. Yes. Well, it all depends what because generally Thursday is a travel day. So then on Friday at Bunyan is the first day of Bunyan, and I'm usually tired from the day before traveling. So then, yeah, I go there early, leave, get a nap in, and then get ready for Friday Night Live. And then Saturday is just an all day event at Bunyan, and then Saturday night at the hotel, and then Sunday travel day. York Firewood, what do you mean wander around aimlessly? I do that everywhere besides Bunyan. I am wandering around, but it gets to be like if you're there to see everything, like you might end up walking around like one day, and then the next day you think you're gonna you walk around the same spot, but you see things you didn't see the day before. So that is kind of cool. Oh boy, yeah, we need to get this. I need to get this thing burning here. I saw your super chat. I'm just gonna fire this up beforehand. My other fire back there is, I don't know where the better half is. All right. Well, that is the part of like seeing everyone and getting everyone together is definitely the Friday Night Live at the hotel, because usually the hotel is full of woodhounds, and as long as old guy Firewood doesn't get us kicked out, yeah, it's a good time. All right, let's bring the ladies out quick. Glowing Firewood 50, more logs in the fire. Got that taken care of. Thank you very much. Cheers. JB Brown, how you doing? Frickin' Jeep. I know you know what naps are. Don't be trying to fool us. Rick's Outdoors, how much did you make a night wrestling? This is one of the things that always, I think, surprises many people. Because starting out, like, if I know there's often times when people will relate like how much work you put into firewood to not get that much out, and when you're starting out in wrestling, like, it all would depend on who you were working for, which promoter, which company, where you were going. A lot of times you'd be able to, they would tell you what they were going to pay you beforehand, but a lot of times they wouldn't. So a lot of times it was depending on how the show was for a turnout, how the gate was. But you might drive 2 to 3 hours, get like, back then we'd probably get like $20 for trance, like $20 for gas, and then 25 a night for wrestling, and when you're first starting out. And then as you start getting more, I guess, becoming more of a draw, like there would be times when, you get a couple $100 a night. But then the key was always selling your gimmicks. So like selling your autograph pictures, that was the big thing. So they'd always have an intermission, and you'd be able to go out and sell your photos, 8x10s autographed. That's how you could make some decent money if the show was big. But I mean, you never knew. You never would know. Like we drove up to a show in northern Minnesota somewhere, up on the Iron Range, way up there. And there was like literally 20 people at the show. So you can imagine if you're a promoter and you put on the show, and you might get like a guarantee from whoever the venue is, but if you only sold 20 tickets, you're not going to be paying too much out to the wrestlers. But then we drive out to North Dakota, and we do like these casino shows. And man, there'd be thousands some people in this little like arena at the casino, and you'd sell all your merch, and you'd get a good payday. You'd get money for trance. You'd get a hotel. Oh, that was like when I was like my second year in, and then I thought I was just living the dream. How much was a signed photo back then? It was $2. $2. Black and white though. Black and white autograph photo. But yeah, there was like I said, there was some trips that you would drive for 4 hours, and you might get enough money to pay for your gas. But then, you got the experience. So there would always be people there'd be guys that they'd say, I'm not leaving the house for less than, X number of dollars. And then it's like, all right, well, somebody's going to take your spot on the card. And then eventually, if that person who takes your spot ends up being better than you because they're getting more experience, you're not going to be leaving your house at all. There is also an old saying in the wrestling business, for your payday is a hot dog and a handshake. And that also would be something that would happen quite a bit. Because, you'd just be like, oh, if you didn't have a guarantee, you'd just show up. WD-30. What? Oh no. What? Who was that? I just saw fly by. I saw something fly by it. I'm scrolling back through, and I thought I saw. All right, I gotta catch up. How much are they worth now? Oh, I don't even know. I don't even know if I gotta see if I can find some of those. I think I do still have some down in this box. I should look. Hang on a second. I gotta turn this light down. Yeah. Whew. That didn't help much, but it's getting bright. Throw a few more chunks in here. All right. And saw supplier Steve throwing a coin in the cup. Cheers. As someone who's gone from the wrestling ring to the woodpile, what lessons from your time as a pro wrestler have surprisingly helped you the most with firewood? Ooh, that is a great question, and I'll get to that. Thank you, Steve. Cheers. So the number one thing is giving the people what they want. That right there. So when you're in the ring, that is the key. You got to give the people what they want. They came, they paid their money, they sat in that seat, and they wanted to get a show, so you got to give them a show. You got to give them what they want. Firewood, same thing. People come and like get wood out of the roadside stand. What do they want? They want to take that wood and probably burn it tonight. So you got to give them what they want. They want dry, ready to burn wood. So that would be, I would say, one of the main thing. Giving the people what they want. James Baton. Oh my. It's not that there could be. Well, I don't know if he'd be 50. He might be like 35. No. He might not be living in his mother's basement, but I guarantee you there are people out there who still have one of those. Possibly. I don't know. Maybe not. The kids would definitely, that was the big thing. The kids would come and get those pictures, man. And then sometimes the promoters who were putting on the show would put together like a program, and they'd get your picture and put it in the program. Oh my gosh. Then we had some. The kids would run around and try to get everyone's autograph. It's overtime. Holy smokes. WD-30. Overtime. Tip them back. Thank you very much. Oh, North PA Firewood. Cheers to overtime as well. Woo. No, I'm saying that would be me. I still have my picture on the wall. Are you kidding me? Come on. I forget. There was. Yeah, I don't even. It would be interesting to try to see if any of them survived. Those, if any of the old autograph 8x10s are still. I'm sure there's not only hanging on the wall, there's probably some out there framed in some nice glass cases. Heckle them for their choice of firewood. Well, that's the one thing. Yeah. So in firewood, you got it. You can't be the heel. You can't be the heel when it comes to selling firewood. You gotta give the people what they want, but you can't be the bad guy. You can't be the villain. Any pictures with a target? Ooh, jeez, ouch. York Firewood firing the shots across the board here. Wow. Jeepers creepers. Oh. What series did you wrestle in? I don't know. Light heavyweight. Cruiserweight. Maybe that's what you're looking for. Cruiserweight, light heavyweight. But then towards the end of my run, I stepped up to the heavyweights every now and then just because they needed somebody to put the asses in the seats. Yes, Wild Bill. There are many shrines. All right, I gotta jump over here. Saw Supplier Steve once for you to focus on small wood. How did that niche evolve? Thank you very much. Cheers. Hang on, we're going to stay here. York Firewood, thank you very much. Glowing Firewood 50, cheers as well. All right. So the small firewood started because I had Warm Bond, this company, reach out to me and sent me one of their tabletop fire pits to do a video on. And so I got this thing and I was like, what in the heck? I had never seen them, never heard of them, small fire pits like this. So I made the video, and in making the video, I was like, dang, this thing is kind of cool. This little fire pit, this thing kind of rocks. So I went online on Amazon and I looked up tabletop fire pits, smokeless tabletop fire pits. And there was, I don't know how many different manufacturers, how many different brands. Solo was the big one, but it was just like all of these different tabletop fire pits. And so then I was like, all right, if there's that many people making these, they must be selling them. And if there's that many people buying them, they gotta need something, they gotta burn something in them. Like, not everyone's gonna be burning wood pellets, or not everyone's gonna be going out in their yard and getting, branches, because obviously these things are kind of geared and marketed towards suburban lifestyle, patio, not the people that probably have chainsaws and log splitters. So then I just was like, all right, I'm going to start making mini firewood for them. And that's kind of just how it started. Just from being approached from a company. They sent me a little tabletop fire pit. I tested it out and I was like, dang, this thing is pretty cool. And then just realizing, like, hey, there's probably people out there that wouldn't mind burning actual firewood in these things. All right. Oh, we had another super chat. York Firewood. No problem. I know I'm just giving you a hard time back. Cheers. Oh, look at this. Old guy firewood. Fell asleep. Probably because you were tired from trying to start that chainsaw of yours. Who did you wrestle? Anyone? No one. Oh, yeah. Well, way back in the day, I think the two that are still, well, I don't know if you've heard of like Mr. Anderson. You probably heard of CM Punk. I had a couple. The St. Paul Armory, where CM Punk and we had a couple good matches there. AJ Styles, the Bushwhackers. This was way back. Honky Tonk Man. So those are some of the probably ones you might be familiar with, but CM Punk was probably one of my favorite little runs I had. Like I said, up in St. Paul at the Armory, because he came in from Chicago. There was a group of guys from Chicago that would come up to the cities, and I don't know how many matches he had, but we had a pretty good match. All right, 10 after. So I don't know if those are any of the. I don't know what wrestlers you're familiar with. I know a lot of guys are always like, when you bring up pro wrestling, they're like, oh, I used to watch the Crusher and Baron Van Ratsky and the Claw and and Mad Dog Vachon and all these guys, and that was like way, way, way old school. Sue Heibel, how are you doing? Mom and the boys, good evening. Tuning in. We watched the planes from Lake Winnebago. Oh, yeah. Did anybody see? I've seen a couple videos of like uh, the airspace where they like track the planes and they like show all of these planes coming in and they all kind of like get into a line going into Oshkosh. I think it was last week. It was crazy. It looks like ants, like all these ants just scattered about, and then they all kind of get into a line and fly in to the air show. I am doing good, Sue. Doing good. Getting ready to just wrap things up here. It's kind of cooling off nice though tonight. Cooling off. The Bushwhackers. Oh my god, those guys. That was but that was the other fun part about it, is like just getting to like know people and then like seeing them in the ring and then seeing them out of the ring. Hey, and there we go. Somebody was asking right here. Someone still has one of the wrestling photos. But like Honky Tonk Man, like in the locker room, he would like sit over by his locker and he would just like read. He was real quiet, real, just nice, polite. We might get like a card game going, might play cards, just like mellow, chill. And then out in the ring, he's just completely different. So that was always cool. That was one of the things that like it was interesting to see people who were able to like switch and go in character and then be out of character. So that was one of the things I learned early on. Because then you got people that are like always trying to be in character and they try too hard. And that is not good. Anyway, quick little reminder for those, and I should have the I don't have it here, but if you go to the website, if you haven't done so already, go to the website at some point between now and the 300th show, which comes up in 2 weeks, and get on the mailing list, because those email addresses may or may not come into play on the night of the 300th live stream. Just throwing a little something out there right now. There might be another way to participate in something that's going to be going on, but if you haven't done so, get on the mailing list. And then, was it not next week, but the week after, August 8th, number 300. Get ready. I don't know if I'm going to start a little early. Probably will definitely go a little late. But it's going to be a good show. It's going to be a good time. And we're going to have, yes, some stuff that you might be able to get your hands on and win. There'll be different ways you can win. but one of them may or may not involve being selected from that email list. So there you go. There is a little hint for those of you that stuck around and have made it to the end. Get ready. I'm going to have some pretty cool stuff as well that you could possibly get your hands on. And no, it won't be all mini wood. Except for some of you. Some of you are just going to win one stick. One stick of mini firewood. To get on the email list, you just go to the website, and then all the way down at the bottom, there's a email sign up. Who's the guy that Mr. Van Dusen, Tim and Old Saws, Tim Van Dusen. The 500i. Well, I can't give away a 500i on the 300th show. I'm going to give away a 300i. Actually, no. 300. The 300 is not going to be an option. But there'll be some cool stuff. So anyway, I think that's going to do it. Thanks, moderators, for being here. Everyone who threw a coin in the cup, thank you very much. And all of you tuned in tonight to kick off your weekend hanging out with me and all these woodhounds here. Appreciate you being here, and we'll see you back here next week. And if not, in 2 weeks for the 300th Friday Night Live. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool. Cheers. Good night.
Down in the